Welcome to my podcast series, Independence for Life, diving into management, instruction, and guidance of your lifestyle as you continue your journey through life and into retirement and older age. Hi, my name is Nancy Brunick-Hardy. I am an integrative nutrition health coach, nutritionist, certified caregiver, and fitness professional and instructor. I work independently in every capacity as described. I am the creator of Independence for Life. I am continuing my preparation of upcoming podcasts to help guide you on your journey of independence for life. So let's begin your Independence for Life journey and keep in mind your why for being here today. And being healthy is not about weight loss you may experience, but about the life you gain by being a healthier weight, which is different for everyone. In my podcast number 1 and 2, I provided the basis for why I started Independence for Life and what it is, but basically I am here to spread the word about the importance of movement, proper nutrition, and preparation for older age, and to educate people about movement and continued mobility with exercise and proper nutrition. So today is lesson number 7, and it is titled, Overcoming What You Once Thought You Couldn't. Today I'm going to talk about overcoming what you once thought you couldn't. So what does that mean to you? So a lot of this is going to be questions that you need to ask yourself. Okay, so looking deep inside, this is about you. So remember why you're here listening to this particular podcast. So looking at what's overcoming, what does that mean to you? So we can start by looking at our thoughts. Why do we get in our own way? Why do we make excuses in the face of adversity? Let's look at overcoming. When something is negative or intrusive, we stop. Our brain is protecting us from potential disappointment and or pain. When we hyper-focus on these negative or intrusive thoughts, we can become disconnected from the present and go through physical and emotional distress. These worry-based thoughts that our brain generates is protection from potential threats, even if this situation is not dangerous. This can manifest. We become defensive to avoid the pain of disappointment. We can fall into a negative loop, which distorts our perspective. We can get stuck in this loop and become confused about feelings and facts. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. Overcoming what you thought you once could not do is where toughness and strength live. I am going to talk about 2 specifics here today with overcoming, and those topics are diet and exercise. There are other topics in life that we can use this approach for, and I will give you that list at the end. And I will even do other podcasts about those topics. Or if you have a specific life topic about overcoming, I will give you my email at the end and I will do a podcast about that. So looking at specifically today, overcoming diet and exercise. Well, let's look at what that means for diet. And I bring this up now because it's December 2025 and what's coming up? January, and what comes with January? New Year's resolutions. So this is typically when people want to try to tackle a diet or start exercising, or hopefully both, okay? So we all go into a diet and even perhaps exercise with good intentions. That's how these things start. We all have good intentions. And then we all have natural habits, which brings back all of those old ways that we were trying to break from. Okay, so this is a cycle that happens a lot. It happened to me a lot also. Anything that I talk about here on my podcast, I have either experienced personally, have been educated in, or I have helped someone directly with. So here's where the word overcome becomes powerful. Okay, anything that our mind is trying to do to us, we can fight against it, overcome that mindset, overcome those old ways. If there's something that you really want to do in life, you're going to figure out how to do it. You're going to overcome, even though your brain's saying, I can. So we're going to shut that down and say, yes, I can, and we're going to overcome. So we want to be in the moment. You want to remember why you started that diet and remind yourself that you are more powerful than those bad habits. If you want it, it'll happen. And I say that to you wholeheartedly and specifically as a fitness professional, a fitness instructor, because I can't tell you how many excuses I have heard over the years of people excuse their way out of something that their brain is telling them no, even though they really want to do it. So I say to you, if there is something you really want to do, you will find a way. You will make it happen. You have the power. You have the power to control your life. So it's a matter of asking yourself, how can I overcome this fear? You can make all the excuses you want. You can slide back into your old ways, but ask yourself, is this really what you want? Tell yourself, yes, I can do this, and I will overcome this. And yes, situations may be hard, and I truly believe if you really want it, you're going to do it. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. One of them would be quitting smoking. Okay, I am a 17-year quitter, and I will forever, every single year, celebrate that. My anniversary is April 11th, and I will forever remember that. I will forever celebrate that every single year, because that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life. It took me 4 tries over the span of 5 years to quit. That was super, super hard. But it wasn't impossible, because here I am 17 years later celebrating every year, because to me that it was a major thing. Like I really did that because I hated smoking, but it had me. It hooked me. Okay. And I tried so hard to break away from it so many times, and I was not going to give up until I was successful. So I could have went with the excuse, well, it's got me. Well, I'm hooked. Well, I'm just going to give up. I'll just keep smoking forever. I was like, no. I rationalized it. I looked at it logically. I said, I'm going to quit no matter what it takes. And I finally did. My other example I want to give to you is dieting. I went up and down with my weight for 10 years. I tried so hard to lose weight, okay, up and down. So I would go on a diet. Let me back that up. I would go on a fad diet, which those don't work for life. I went on a fad diet, lost the weight, went off the fad diet, the weight came back. I did that for 10 years. And I just kept going. I'm like, I really got to do this. And I didn't understand what was happening and why I kept putting the weight back on. Because these fad diets don't teach you anything. Yes, they're successful short term, but it's not sustainable for life. But the point is I never gave up. So in 2008, I went to somebody for help with my weight, and that's when I lost the 50 pounds. And here I am to this day, still at that point. Okay, so during those 10 years, I could have given up at any time. I could have said, I'm never going to overcome this, but I really wanted it, and I found a way. And it doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be a perfect map. It's just, if you really want to do it, you'll find a way. And a lot of times things in life can be scary. So if we can try to push our fear aside, take every day as a single day. If we start to look too far ahead, that's when, to me, that's when I feel like the fear sets in, and then the mind starts going and the quitting starts happening. But we need to remember, yes, we can overcome this. Yes, we are better than those bad habits. And yes, we deserve to treat ourselves with love and respect. And with beautiful whole foods, because we are talking about diet here, and I did get off on a tangent. So giving yourself nourishment that will resonate throughout many different aspects of your life, that's where the circle of life begins. Okay. And in my other podcasts, you may have, I don't know if you remember what I was speaking about specifically with the circle of life. Better food comes with better exercise. Better exercise comes with better food. That's a circle of life that I'm speaking about. So diet is your one. Exercise is your next. So giving yourself nourishment that will resonate throughout many different aspects of your life, it creates a circle of life. So circle of life begins next with exercise. These two, and you'll forever hear me say this, movement and nutrition go together hand in hand. To work effectively, they need to be together. So diet, yes, starting with good intentions, fantastic. Pushing away those bad habits, don't letting them sneak back in. But also remember, if they do sneak back in, that doesn't mean that you have to throw in the towel. It's a minor setback. We're all going to have minor setbacks. These things are a struggle. Diet, exercise, definitely a struggle, but it's not a struggle forever. It's a struggle until you get it into a habit, and then it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it anymore. It just is. Let's get into exercise. So to me, this is a bigger overcoming factor in life than diet, okay? Because because I've been on both sides of the fence. When I was a member going to a place to exercise, yeah, scary, totally scary, because it's a whole big overwhelming world. It is huge. And there are so many formats to it. There are so many places to go. It's a big subject, okay? So let's narrow that down. Let's try to take away that fear, okay? Because to me, fear is getting in the way of overcoming. So if we can break stuff down, if we can compartmentalize things, look at it, rationalize it, hopefully if we make it into smaller segments, it's not so big anymore. So we have different places for exercise. So let's look at the gym. Ask yourself, should I go to the gym? If I do go to the gym, will I actually go on a regular basis, or will I just be paying them a monthly fee forever? Because sometimes they do make it difficult for you to get out of it. But when you do join a gym and you look at it as a big room with all the exercise equipment, then you have the front desk with the staff, and then you have the different rooms for aerobics, everyone there is just like you. They're on a mission of self-care. So overcoming the fear of just walking in a gym and knowing what to do, that's huge, because there is so much happening there. For me, as a fitness professional, that's the role that I currently play. At the beginning, I used to be intimidated also, until I realized we're all just people trying to work out. And not everybody here knows exactly everything of what to do on every machine and every workout room. Excuse me. We're all the same. We're the same people, okay? And everybody is just as scared as everybody else. You have a big resource at your fingertips, right? Everybody has their phone with them. So if you do walk into the gym, you see all these machines, and that's the type of workout that you want, and you're like, I don't know what to do with half of these things, because they are intimidating or confusing. Instructions may not be easy to read. Staff members may not be around to ask, or you may not want to ask a staff member. You have your phone. Go to YouTube and type in what that machine is. Somebody on there will have a video and they'll show you what to do. And then you can jump on the machine and you can do it. So overcoming those fears, looking at different ways, like how can I tackle this? This is really what I want to do. How can I do it? Setting that fear aside, not letting it cloud your brain. Next would be the exercise classes, right? So there's that room with those doors. Most of the time those doors are closed. That doesn't mean that you can't go in there. I've taught exercise classes at gyms for years. Just because the door is closed doesn't mean you can't go in there. As the instructor, we wish that room was full, filled with people excited to be there to exercise with us. That's what we wish for. We really do. And we see people looking in and we're very hopeful. Ooh, we hope that person wants to come in the room because they're looking in. We think that you're interested. So please come in. Okay, so your mind is saying, oh, should I walk in? Should I try the class? What happens if I don't like it? Am I going to look stupid? Will I be able to keep up? See, these are all legitimate questions. And I know because I've been there myself. So I'm going to tell you, as the fitness instructor on this side of the fence, I'm going to tell you wholeheartedly that showing up and walking in is the hardest part of any class. And I mean that wholeheartedly. That's the hardest part, is showing up. Okay? Anything you do beyond that point is a bonus. Yes, it can be scary, but you don't know unless you try. Okay? Give you an example. I tried Zumba. I'm not a dance instructor. I don't really want to dance. That's not my preference. But I tried it because I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. I personally don't like it because I don't like to move that way. But I tried it 5 different times with 5 different instructors because I'm like, I really want to see if I really want to do this or not. So I kept trying. But I did try other things until I found what I liked. And then I became an instructor in that format. And then so on and so forth. Okay? So how do you know if you don't like it? How do you know if you can or cannot do it? And I will also tell you that going to one class one time really shouldn't gauge your love or hate for it. That's why I went 5 different times and 5 different instructors, because every instructor is different. We're all welcoming, we're all engaging, but any exercise format I tried, I always found my favorite, quote unquote, favorite instructor, and I gravitated toward him or her. So get in there, give it a whirl, try it several times before you really make that choice of yes, I like this or no, I don't. And there are many, many different formats of aerobics that you can try. So I really believe you'll be able to find something that you truly love, or maybe just like, right? Also, gyms typically have a written explanation of each exercise class, and also the staff should be able to tell you what it's like. And most of these exercise rooms have windows, and maybe just, peek in or watch a class for a few minutes just to see what's going on, in that particular class. And I, as the instructor, I'm always super excited anytime someone comes in my classroom, and I always try to greet that person and, not in their face, but I always acknowledge with a hello and please welcome to my class. And I would also suggest you maybe pick a spot in the back of the room, and that would make it easier for you to see everything that's happening, or maybe follow the person in front of you while you're listening to the instructions. Just a few tips of that exercise room. It's not a scary place. We want you there. We want you to exercise. Your next place to exercise, and this may be your starting point. Maybe I should have started with that on my podcast, but this may be your starting point so you can become more familiar with exercise and feel more confident in it, because exercise, it does build confidence. That's what it did for me when I lost my 50 pounds back in 2008. Man, did that give me confidence. Just that feeling, and I will never forget it. Yes, it's been a long time, but I still remember that. So doing exercises at home may be the best place to get started, because you may be alone. Or if your family is there, your family is used to you, right? Or you can go into a room and close the door. So you have some choices here for at-home exercises. You have virtual, And here's where the power of your schedule comes in. So all those excuses of I don't have the time, or that doesn't work for my schedule, or even if the exercise class at the gym is an hour, you only have 20 minutes. Well, here's where you get to decide and control all of that. YouTube has tons of exercise that you can do on your schedule. I use it also. Yes, I'm a fitness instructor, but I will go on YouTube for the days that I'm not teaching a class, because there are times when I want to just unwind. So I'll go on to YouTube and I'll type in, I only want 20 minutes today. I want 15 minutes today. I want a half an hour of today. And I'll type in exactly the words I want. All standing exercise with hand weights, or floor core workout. Just type in anything that you can think of. All of these videos, they will pop up. And you can pause them and you can restart them. You can fast forward them. You have complete control of that video. So this can be done on your time. And you can do it anywhere at any time. And no one's going to see you. You can feel free to move about. So that's what I feel is the beauty of the virtual classes. That's the type of class I teach every week. I teach virtually on Zoom, and anyone who joins my class, I have it set for the people who attend my class. Their video, their audio is automatically off. Everybody has privacy from wherever they're joining, and you only see and hear me. So I feel that that's an important aspect of the virtual experience. When you join my class, everybody only sees and hears me. All the privacy, that's all for you. Your next at home would be a DVD. I know it's an old school approach, but they are still available. I know because I just bought one. I just got one in the mail a few days ago. Okay. I used to use them a lot, but I only use them now for continuing my exercise education. But the DVD is great for repetition. Okay, it gets you used to exercising. Maybe you can work on your form while you're doing that. But that's at home. You pop it in. Again, you have complete control. Rewind, fast forward, pause. Maybe it's an hour DVD. You only have a half hour that day, so you only do a half hour of it. You have complete control. And your next at home would be outside, obviously, weather permitting. But there's an entire world to explore. You can do things like bicycle, hiking, running, anything you can do like calisthenics, which uses your body weight as resistance to perform exercises. And those would be, you could do push-ups, sit-ups, planks, squats, lunges, jumping jacks, jump rope. You don't even need the rope to do jump rope. And no equipment is required for any of these things. And you can do them anytime, anywhere that pleases you for as long as you want. And the last way to get your exercise in would be become the fitness instructor. And you can laugh, that's fine, I get it, but that's what I did. So back in 2008, after I went through my weight loss transformation, because I did exercise and diet at the same time by a mentor, I became so in love with exercise, I said, I can teach that. So I did. I became a jazzercise instructor. I did that for 5 years. Then someone said to me, you would be really good at a pound fit instructor. So I saw what that was. I transitioned from jazzercise to pound fit, which I currently teach 10 years later. I am now a mat Pilates instructor. I also teach Fit Blast, and I also teach my own self-created strength and core, balance, stretching, agility, endurance. I really teach everything. So just wanted to give you that just as an aside, so some people don't want to cross that line from attendee to instructor. But in my own experience, it was fabulous, and it's my favorite job on the planet. So those were your two specifics for today: diet and exercise. So just giving you things, breaking them down. When you're looking at something, trying to overcome it, let's also ask ourselves, why did you think that you could not overcome it? Let's look at those thoughts. Everything here is asking yourself these questions, breaking things down, rationalizing them, compartmentalize the situation. Try to be clear on your intentions, right? So what can I do? I'm in this spot. Fear is setting in. Overcoming is becoming smaller and smaller. Well, let's stop. Let's acknowledge. Let's acknowledge the anxious thoughts and recognize them, that they are not facts. Okay? And it's my professional opinion that fear, yes, it may be irrational, but it's something that is. Okay, so we can just learn ways to work with it, okay, because I don't think fear is something that's, it's not that it can't go away, but it's there, but working with it and around it. So once those overcoming irrational fears start setting in, let's just stop, let's acknowledge them, that they are not facts. And let's challenge them. Let's look at an alternative perspective. And something else that will help us when we stop to acknowledge and we stop to challenge what's really happening, let's just take a breath. Let's ground ourselves, be in the moment, calm the mind, practice our breathing. And that's something I have done too. If I'm in a crowd, which I don't care for, but I've overcome that fear and I've gone into the crowd, and then you start to feel anxious. What I do, take a breath. I look around at everybody, and everybody is normal. No one else is freaking out or panicking. It's my mind. Okay, so I have to overcome that. So I stop. I know what's happening is not real. I take an alternative perspective, start to breathe, ground myself, and just calm down. And another way around it is to distract your brain. Let's look at other activities to take your mind off of these anxious thoughts. Okay? So after you've gone through these steps, and you're still feeling like you can't overcome it, ask yourself, what's standing in your way? And another great tool here is it doesn't hurt to write these things down. It helps you to really see what's happening, helps you to remember in case you go through it again. And you can use that with any aspect of your life, journaling. And journaling certainly has helped me in the past. It's a really great tool, and you don't have to journal forever or every single time you go through something that's anxious and you feel like you can overcome. But after you've gone through those steps, looking back, seeing what was actually standing in your way, and you say, oh yeah, I overcame that. I can overcome that again. Or I can use that scenario in this aspect of my life, and I can overcome this. So it doesn't hurt to write it down. It shows you what was going on in your brain. Giving you another example of maybe not writing it down, but talking about it out loud. I went to therapy for a year, and the one major takeaway from that was it's different. It sounds different. All the thoughts that are swimming around in your brain sound different than when it's coming out of your mouth. So when you're actually saying the words and hearing yourself say the words, totally different than them just being stuck in your brain. So that would be another helpful tool for overcoming, talking about it, getting it out, acknowledging them. They are not facts. Speaking to someone about it. Okay? So that the next time you are faced with a situation, say to yourself, what am I going to do to overcome? Am I standing in my own way? If I am, why? What is stopping you from overcoming? And I can tell you personally, anything that I wanted to change in my life, I've always said to myself, and I've said this out loud to myself, this is what I want to do, and I did it. And it may not have been right away, or it may not have been perfect, and I don't like the word perfect. But eventually I got there because I wanted to, because I overcame what I thought I couldn't do. A lot of people get stuck in that loop without even trying anything. They become stagnant. Fear sets in immediately, and they're like, I can't do that. And then I would say, well, why not? You didn't even try. And they're like, oh. And more specifically, a lot of that comes up with exercise techniques. If I'm doing personal training with someone, I will show them, or I will say the exercise out loud, and they'll say, I can't do that. And I'm like, well, you didn't even try. And they're like, oh. And then they try and they did it. So that fear comes right in right away. It's your brain saying, nope. So overcoming that fear so it doesn't stand in the way of the things that we want to do, things that we want to accomplish. And we can use that scenario in any aspect of life. And I'm not just talking about exercise and diet. We can use that in the areas of life like your career, education, your health, physical activity, home cooking, your home environment, relationships, social life. How about joy, spirituality, creativity, finances, every aspect of your life, looking at the situation, breaking it down, rationalizing it. Put yourself back in charge of your life because you have the power to do it. And if you're expecting your life to be perfect, to me, that's a big disappointment because perfectionism is a self-defeating behavior. It is an inauthentic to live life pretending to be perfect. Okay, it's inauthentic. In my professional opinion, the word perfect, that's boring because that means you've hit the ceiling. Like you can't go anywhere else. Well, then what, right? So what I like to preach is progress over perfection. Okay, as long as we're making progress, going forward, even if we take a little step back, that's okay. We're going to pick it up and we're going to keep going forward. True integrity lies in the ability to recognize and accept your and my imperfections, because I am brand new to these podcasts. Yes, this is podcast number 7, but I'm still fumbling and strumbling. That's not even a word. Fumbling and struggling, but that's okay. It's part of the process. It will always be part of the process, and we can accept that. We can accept our fears, work through them. And it's easy to neglect our own needs when fear sets in. Oh, I don't need that for myself. It's okay. I'm scared. No. How about put yourself first? Find your voice. You can overcome. Remain true to yourself. Thank you for being here today. And I hope you remember your why each and every time you visit my podcast. Podcast number 8, that's coming up next. The topic is polyphenols. And you say, Nancy, what is that? Well, that is a plant-based food that's known for its powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. They protect the body from cell damage caused by free radicals and are linked to potential health benefits. So we're coming into the winter time, and I thought, let's combat ourselves with polyphenols if we're not feeling so good, or just even being on them on a regular basis to try to combat all those free radicals and try to live a healthier lifestyle. So we're going to tackle some food topics coming up next on my podcast number 8. So look for that on YouTube. That's where I am right now, and I will be expanding my platforms. My email address, you can always reach out to me that way, and I will spell it out for you. It's IND, the number 4, LIFELLC @gmail.com. And my name is Nancy Brunicardi. Independence for Life. Thank you for being here today.